Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We are playing our Hulk Flash deck again, and this time we are playing against a Grixis twin deck. Let's see if we can get our opener up. This is our opener. We have Ideas Unbound, Revelar, Body Double, Protean Hulk, and Viscera here. So a lot more of our combo pieces that we ideally would like in the deck than we would have in our hand, but Ideas Unbound will hopefully draw us into 3 new cards, and we can just pitch these into the graveyard for the most part. So I'm reasonably happy with keeping this, but I suppose it is a little bit risky, particularly if we don't draw in some more draw spells. Punt leads off with a Serum Vision, because we've got nothing else to cast off it. Punt plays another Serum Visions, drops a Scalding Tarn. So no real idea what he is just yet. I mean, he could be anything, to be honest. So we're going to look to use our Ideas Unbound after drawing a Thoughtseize for our turn, but unfortunately our opponent has a Spell Snare to deal with that, which puts us in a really bad position. These creatures aren't doing a great deal in our hand. Can't even cast Hulk or Revelark, and we're quite a way off casting a Body Double or anything, so definitely need to find some more of our draw spells. There's another Serum Visions. I was expecting a Tasigur at this point, to be honest. He's filled up his graveyard, and yeah, with the Blood Crypt I'm fairly sure he's on some sort of Grixis plan, probably. Well, could be either Delver or Twin, potentially, in the sort of main Grixis builds in Modern at the moment. So we draw a Scalding Tarn. A little scared about what he's got in his hand, so I decided just to Thoughtseize him. Could have been a mistake, I suppose. If I drew Footsteps, I would have wanted to be able to Thoughtseize the Hulk out of my own hand, but given that we've got Revelark in our hand as well, actually that doesn't lead us anywhere, so I think we definitely need to draw into one of our sort of Is It Charm, Fatal Saluting, or Ideas Unbound to really get us anywhere. So we see our opponent's hand, it's fairly stacked. He's got Remand, Tasigur, Lightning Bolt, Inquisition, and the Snapcaster Mage, so fairly formidable. I'm kind of surprised he didn't play Tasigur last turn, actually. I think that's the card I want to take. It's the biggest threat. Snapcaster is also going to be annoying, probably at some point in the game, and Remand's not ideal either, but I think Tasigur is the one that's really going to cause us to die quickly, so I decided to get rid of that. Just play out a Scalding Tarn and pass the turn. I'll play Inquisition, which is only going to get a Viscera Seer, so definitely not too concerned about that. And the opponent Snapcaster Serum Visions on his turn. Draw even further into his deck. Fetch up a Watery Grave. Play out my island. I suppose we didn't necessarily need to play out the land there, but got a lot of chaff in our hand, so we're ready to discard, so not too unhappy. Is It Charm's a good draw, so we can pitch our Revelark and our Body Double, and our Hulk, because they're complete. And I mean, at this stage we are potentially in the range where we might be able to cast a Body Double, which is at least interesting. And actually, if we pitch these Hulk and the Revelark into the graveyard, probably want to copy a Revelark, and that could work out actually fairly nicely. It's not the combo, but it is decent. So Is It Charm at end of turn, drawing a couple of cards. Get another Body Double, which is fairly annoying. At this point, comboing is going to be very difficult. Hulk's probably not going to be the way we're going to go. But if we can get the other Body Double into the graveyard and copy the Revelark, then that will work out nicely, and then we can have a sort of recurring couple of Revelarks and so on. So it's potential, but I think we just pitch the 2 non-Body Doubles, particularly as we're actually in a position where we might be able to hard cast a Body Double. So we know our opponent's got Remand. Using Attacks and Probe to take a look at his hand. Turns out it's double Remand and a Bolt, which is not ideal, but I think we're just going to have to deliberately eat a Remand here, given that waiting is not going to do us any favours. So just play into the remand and hope that eventually he will run out of counters or not be able to kill us, and then hopefully in a position where we can get some sort of Revelark shenanigans going on. So opponent has double bolt, attacks us for 2 down to 4. Obviously uses a second remand there. So we've still got a turn potentially, but as it turns out our opponent's other card is a Pestamite, which means he can attack for 4 next turn. It's useful information though to see the Pestamite. I didn't see anything else that would hint at him being a twinless, but looks like he is twin. Might have wanted to save that information, but I suppose you just go for the win, don't you really? But that does tell me quite a lot about his deck, seeing that. So let's see if we can go on to game 2. So our opener is a non-lander, which is no good. Bringing packs from the sideboard though, which is interesting to note. Obviously want to avoid any counter spells. It seems to be particularly counter heavy, not sure he'll be running Cryptic, but he certainly could be. Twin lists are generally a little bit more land heavy, a lot of Grixis Delver lists, so there is that. Obviously this is not a keeper, so pitching that back. This is fairly decent. Gitaxian Probe's going to let us draw an extra card. Faceless Looting can pitch this Hulk, so really we only need to find the footsteps and we'll be fairly sorted. So happy enough with this as a 6 card hand. Just going to go straight into the looting. I want to dig as fast as possible really. So we find Ideas Unbound and another Hulk. Just going to pitch the 2 Hulks as they're useless to us in our hand. And then we've got an Ideas Unbound for next turn potentially, which seems very good for us. We'll lead off with a Delta, Steam Events into Serum Visions, which is fine. I get Axiom Probe my opponent. The hand, which again is fairly stacked. Serum Visions, Snapcaster, Deceiver, Exarch, Lightning Bolt, and Terminate. Terminate doesn't actually really do much against us, so happy that he's still got that in his deck. It doesn't really do anything, I don't think. I suppose we can kill the Viscera Seer, potentially, but we can play around that. So, yeah, this hand is looks decent, but if we can be fast enough, we can certainly beat it. And there's no counters in it, which is probably the best thing I can say about it. I'm just going to get Ideas Unbound here. See what we pick up. We find the Footsteps, which is very, very nice. We draw Revelark, which we're just going to have to pitch into the graveyard. And we draw a Pact of Negation, which is really good. It's going to be able to protect this Footsteps, just in case he does draw any sort of counter magic or anything. That works out nicely. Obviously going to keep. Happy enough to discard the Gitaxian Probe and the Revelark in order to keep these 3 cards. Went such to the mountain and cast Serum Visions. So I'm fairly happy with that situation. There's not much he can do with just a mountain to stop us. And we do have Pact of Negation anyway, so that is fine. Second main phase with the Footstep. Not that there's any particular advantage to that, it just means that they have less time if they misclick or anything. That works out into our advantage. And we're going to be able to combo off here. So body double Viscera Seer, it's the combination we're looking for. Copy the Hulk, sack the Hulk. And because we've got Revelark in the graveyard already, we would search up the second body double and the Mog Fanatic. Sack the Mog Fanatic. Obviously our opponent's looking to use his bolt on our Viscera Seer, which is something I want to talk about in a little bit more detail, because we actually can play around it, but I think I end up just using the Pact of Negation. So I set my Revelark and I target both the body doubles rather than just one body double and a Log Fanatic. To play around the fact that he is probably going to bolt my Viscera Seer. This way we can use one body double to copy the Revelark, and then the other body double to copy the Viscera Seer that's in my graveyard, and then we're just able to combo off as we still have a sacrifice outlet. So that's the way to play around your opponent trying to kill your sacrifice outlet. So I played it right, but I figured given that he has no mana and I've got a Pact of Negation, just in case I mess it up somehow, I decided to just use the Pact. But as we had both the body doubles in our graveyard, if you choose to copy both, then the first Revelark ability, then you'll be safe, as them killing your Viscera Seer just means you can copy it with one of the body doubles and you'll be fine from there on out. But I decided to use the Pact of Negation, but as I say, wasn't strictly necessary. And then we just combo off, as per usual. I copied the Hulk with the second body double just in case. I suppose our opponent could have a gut shot or something crazy. If he tried to kill the Viscera Seer, then I would sack my copy Hulk and then search up the second Viscera Seer in the deck to resolve that issue. So yeah, that worked out pretty well, and I think it was a turn 3 win, was it? Yeah, I think that was a turn 3 win. So might have taken a bit of time to discuss, but yeah, our opponent didn't have a lot of chances there. So this our opener looks really good. Just having a lot of access to draw and discard is nice. Got the probe as well, and the Hulk, which is one half of the combo basically. Got these off Steam Vent Serum Visions, as we've seen many times before. Just going to lead off with Scalding Tarn. Opponent search up Steam Vents, Serum Visions again. And I'm going to search up a Steam Vents of my own on the end of his turn. Action Probe to take a look at his hand. It has Spell Snare, Split the Twin, and 3 lands. So not the most exciting hand for him, though he is going to be able to counter one of these ideas unbound. It's a little irritating, but I think we're just going to bite the bullet. We've got more copies, and I don't think he's going to be casting anything else anytime soon, given that his hand's basically empty. So Inquisition uses that to get rid of the Pact of Negation, which is fine. Not too upset about that. Gonna look to Ideas Unbound again. I want a Serum Visions here as well, so I'm going to run out the land and cast the Serum Visions. So trying to dig as deep as possible, as fast as possible. We see Hulk and Pact of Negation on top. Don't think we'll need a second Pact of Negation. I suppose potentially we could if we really wanted to protect it, but given that we haven't got Footsteps yet, I think one Pact of Negation will be more than enough. So definitely bottom the Hulk, and want to bottom that Pact as well, I think. So we discard the Hulk, and the 2 Hulks and a land. Won't pass it the turn again. Ideas Unbound once more. And we found the Footsteps, which is brilliant. I'm going to play out my 4th land. I don't particularly need to, but it could be useful. Discard 3 cards, so we're going to discard the 3rd Hulk, Faithless Looting, and the Darkslick Shores. Which leaves us with a footsteps backed up with a pact of negation. Again, our opponent's not up to anything really. Nice for us. A 4th land. I could have ideas Unbound before I cast the footsteps. The advantage of that is potentially we could find our other pacts of negation, and then we'd have double backup. He's got quite a lot of land, so it is possible that he's got 2 counters in there. So I think we know that at least one of his cards is Splinter Twin. So I think the most he could possibly have is 2 counter spells. I think I like my chances that he doesn't have 2 counter spells. So I just go for it, but I mean, it could have been a reasonably good play to use the ideas Unbound. We don't have enough mana to stop like a mana leak or anything, so it probably would have been a good idea just to sort of see if we could get there. But yeah, we cast the footsteps, our opponent doesn't actually have any response, and Hulk dies and we get to combo off. Our opponent just concedes. So he didn't really, I think he only drew Inquisition and Splinter Twin as his spells despite casting 2 Serum Visions, and was a bit annoyed about that, which justifiable. I think maybe our opponent got a little bit unlucky, though it does mean that he probably kept a hand that was Serum Vision, Spell Snitter, and then all lands, which seems like a fairly sketchy keep. And also, I don't really believe that he never saw a non-land card with his Serum Visions, so presumably he saw cards that he just didn't want to draw, and ended up drawing lands after bottoming them. So, you know, there is variance and bad luck, but I think he could have potentially changed that around by making some different decisions. But anyway, we picked up the win and had Pact of Negation back up even if he had something, so it went pretty well and we won the match.